People think desire has an expiration date. They think it fades quietly somewhere between wrinkles, gray hair, and retirement. They think once a woman crosses a certain age, her heart stops racing, her body stops remembering, and her mind stops wanting. But what if I told you that belief is completely wrong? What if I told you there is a woman who is 73 years old, and her desire doesn't shock people because it's inappropriate, it shocks them because it's alive. Not desperate, not confused, alive. And the young men who cross her path don't expect it. They see her age and they relax. They assume safety. They assume neutrality. They assume she's done wanting. Until they notice the way she looks at them. Not with hunger, but with awareness. Not with need, but with clarity. And that's when it unsettles them. Because no one prepared them for this truth. Female desire doesn't disappear with age. It evolves. This is not a fantasy story. This is psychology. And by the end of this video, the way you understand attraction, age, and desire will never be the same again. She is 73 years old. Her mornings are quiet. Her movements are slower than they used to be. Her reflection carries time's signature. But inside her mind, there is memory. There is emotion. There is longing. And longing is not a young person's emotion. It is a human one. Psychology tells us something uncomfortable. Desire is not powered by youth. It's powered by meaning. When you are young, desire is impulsive, it's loud, it's reactive, it's driven by hormones and validation. But as people age, desire doesn't weaken, it sharpens. Older women don't desire more often, they desire more deeply. At 73, she doesn't crave attention, she craves presence. She doesn't want to be chased, she wants to be seen. And young men rarely understand this. A younger man approaches her thinking the power dynamic favors him. He thinks youth gives him leverage, energy, options. But what he doesn't realize is this: she has lived through love, loss, disappointment, fulfillment, and regret. She knows what false confidence looks like. She knows what empty charm sounds like. She knows the difference between attraction and ego. And that's where the shock begins. Because when she shows interest, it isn't chaotic, it's intentional. She doesn't flirt to feel chosen. She flirts because she already chose. This is what unsettles young men, not her age, her certainty. Psychologists call this post-reproductive desire clarity. When the pressure to prove fertility disappears, something fascinating happens. Desire becomes detached from survival and attached to experience. She doesn't want a future built together. She wants a moment felt fully. She doesn't want to be rescued. She wants connection without illusion. And that level of emotional honesty is rare at any age. Young men are used to desire being dramatic, games, push and pull, mixed signals, but her desire is calm, and calm desire is powerful. She doesn't chase, she allows. She doesn't seduce with performance, she seduces with presence. When she listens, she actually listens. When she touches, emotionally or physically, it's intentional, not accidental. And here's the psychological twist. The human brain associates calm confidence with authority, so even when she is older, her emotional composure gives her psychological gravity. That's why young men feel confused around her. They expect mentorship energy. They encounter emotional depth. They expect invisibility. They feel seen. And being seen is intoxicating. Another uncomfortable truth: desire is heavily linked to memory. Older women carry decades of sensory memory, touch, closeness, intimacy, emotional bonding. These memories don't disappear, they mature. At 73, she remembers how desire feels, not just in the body, but in the mind. She remembers anticipation, she remembers connection,
She remembers what it means to feel chosen, not because of youth, but because of essence. And when a young man unknowingly triggers those memories through kindness, attentiveness, curiosity, it reactivates desire, not reckless desire, reflective desire. This is why younger men often misread older women's interest. They think it's loneliness, they think it's nostalgia, they think it's harmless, but it's none of those things. It's emotional aliveness. And psychology is clear on this. As long as the brain is capable of emotional response, desire exists. What changes is not desire itself, but what ignites it. At 73, she is not aroused by status or bravado. She is moved by emotional intelligence. She is drawn to men who are calm, curious, and grounded, not loud, not performative. And many young men accidentally fit this profile before ego hardens them. That's why the attraction surprises everyone, including her. But here's the most shocking part. She is not trying to reclaim youth. She is reclaiming selfhood. For decades, society told her who she had to be: wife, mother, caretaker, support system. Now, at 73, she is finally free from roles, and freedom awakens desire. Not desire for bodies, but desire for experience, for laughter, for closeness, for shared presence. Psychology shows that when identity pressure dissolves, emotional openness increases. That's why older women often feel more honest with themselves, and honesty is magnetic. Young men sense it even if they can't explain it. They feel relaxed around her, unjudged, unperformed. And in that emotional safety, attraction quietly forms. Not sexual tension screaming for attention, but emotional resonance whispering beneath the surface. This is why her desire shocks young men, because it doesn't beg, it doesn't impress, it doesn't chase, it simply exists. And that challenges everything they've been taught about attraction. It forces them to realize something uncomfortable. Desire isn't owned by youth, it's earned by presence. She is 73. Her desire doesn't shout, it doesn't apologize, it doesn't hide. It understands itself, and that is powerful. So the next time someone tells you attraction fades with age, remember this: bodies age, but the human need for connection does not. Desire doesn't die, it refines. And sometimes it becomes strong enough to surprise an entire generation. If this perspective made you think differently about age, attraction, and human psychology, then you're exactly the kind of person this channel is for. Like this video if you value deeper truths over surface-level myths, subscribe if you want psychology explained without filters, and comment below: do you think society misunderstands desire after a certain age? Your thoughts matter more than you think.